to me, this story really started the day after Christmas 2013, and we found out that Penny was going to be born with Down syndrome. And we knew it was a possibility, but to actually hear that it was going to happen, hear that this was a reality, that this is something that we were going to have to face and live with and grapple with, was heartbreaking.
And we got the call the day after Christmas, and everything just stopped. And it just, how do you deal with that? We have 3 other children. How are we going to make this work? And you hear all the things that can go wrong. And we had time to adjust. And by the time she was born, it was such an exciting day. It was wonderful. And you take that list of what can go wrong, and God gives you Penny.
Yeah, and we had a lot of family during that time, and everybody was super supportive, and yeah, it was able to turn into a very positive experience. And when she came home, it was just like any other kid, and we knew there were going to be trials ahead, and we knew there were going to be things that she wasn't going to be able to do that we always dreamed that you would do with your daughter. But life, it didn't take that long for life to just kind of feel normal or kind of feel like what we were planning for. And, the kids never knew any different. At some point we decided we wanted to have another kid. And that wasn't an easy decision to make. I mean, it's scary once you just had a kid with a lifelong condition like Down syndrome to kind of jump back in and have a second child. But that was a decision we made, and unfortunately, everything that we were fearing during that time, and every bullet that we thought we had dodged with Penny, kind of manifested itself with another phone call. But this one was about Olive.
They called to say that our testing had come back and that she was 75% sure that she was going to have Edwards syndrome, which is the cousin of Down syndrome. It's much more severe. It's something that you are not sure that you will even meet your child. So I made the mistake of Googling it, and then I called Geoff at work, and he didn't answer, and I called and called and called. And I was angry. I was never angry over Penny. I was so angry. And what lesson was God trying to teach us with this?
Yeah. I mean, I always say with Penny I was heartbroken, but with Olive it was really kind of anger, because it was hard to accept. There was no way this is happening to us again. How could this be happening to us again? And like you said, it's not the same as with Down syndrome, because with Down syndrome we never had any concern about Penny being born. There's absolutely medical issues that we were preparing for with Penny, but with Olive we were planning a delivery, but we were also planning a funeral at the same time. And you never expect that you're going to have a baby and have those types of conversations at your dinner table, in 6 months when she comes here. Is she going to be born alive? Is she going to be stillborn? And as long as we were pregnant, there was almost comfort in that. Yeah, she was okay. She was with us. There wasn't much danger, but it was really that moment of delivery that was the scariest moment by far. And I'm holding your hand, you're delivering, and I'm able to see the process. She's doing all the hard work, and immediately I see her born, and I can see that movement. But for you,
I didn't know what was going on, and she cried, and it's the most beautiful sound in the world. So in our life, I give Olive's birth date a lot to insurance, to doctor's offices, but that 11/23/16, that was the miracle for us. She was here. Now what?
Yeah, but Thanksgiving right around the corner. But the delivery part was just the beginning. And it's funny how your prayers change to God, because at first our prayer was pretty small. Like, we just wanted that baby to be born, to have a moment with her, to be able to meet her and have her meet us. But very soon after, you get a little more greedy, and you're like, well, God, you start kind of negotiating as if you have any power. You don't have any power, but you start like, maybe if she could come home with us. And we get a chance to take her home, and if you read the studies, you know that 90% of these children, they don't survive a year. And if you hear the prognosis of your own baby, and you get to hear every single thing that's wrong with her from head to toe, that she has cysts in her brain, that she has a heart condition, kidney condition, that at the time they thought there could be lung issues. I mean, just it crushes your spirit. But we got to take her home. We're dealing with it. They tell us it's going to be on hospice, and just constantly in prayer. We have people in our lives praying for us, people really around the world praying for us, people we've never even met. And not just praying for us, but praying for Olive and her survivability. And we make it to that year. And you always talk about, if you make it a year,
you make it to 5. So.
Yeah, if you make it to 5, maybe you make it to 10.
We've been given stats for the last 5 years between the 2 younger girls. Just keep giving you stats. And none of that can tell you what your child is, and none of that can tell you what God can do for you in that and help bring you through that. And I think my biggest lesson in all of this has been control. I have had to give up a lot of control, not in our day-to-day life, because things don't run if I'm not in control, but in control of what their path is. And it's not up to me whether Penny is going to get married or Olive is going to be here in 2 years. And I've had to give that up, and that's my lesson every day. We aren't promised tomorrow. We have, her plan is his plan. And our cardiologist actually said that at 7 days old, he told us that her heart condition was not fixable, that she would go into heart failure. And at 7 weeks, we brought her in, and he said, I don't know, God and Olive are driving this bus. And we've begun to have faith that, or we always had faith, but we've begun to have faith that there's no plan but his in this, and we have to let him guide us through it.
Yeah, and we really went from a point of, will Olive survive long enough that they would be willing to perform heart surgery on her, to, we don't know that she'll ever need heart surgery, and she's not even on any kind of medication right now. And to have God answer those prayers, I remember talking to even family of mine, and it was just a given. She's going to have heart surgery if she makes it to that point. And I remember even making the statement, and if she doesn't, it's a miracle. And then we had that first meeting 7 weeks later, and to find out that it had really closed, still always going to be some issues there, but to know we had dodged that bullet. And we're not, we talk about, like, we're just people. We're not trained for this. There's nothing about us that put us in a position, like, prepared us for this throughout our lives. We never expected it. We didn't seek it, and it was just thrown at us. And who are we to be able to handle this? But we pray all the time, like, God, we don't have any control, but the decisions that we do have to make, or we're just praying that we make the right decisions for them, that you give us almost supernatural wisdom during these situations. And the woman I married is not the woman I married. I didn't know that she was going to be able to handle something like this, that the strength that she has, and she's somehow become a nurse to our 2 youngest. And it's been incredible the way that God has taken our lives and helped shape us. And I don't know that we were necessarily the parents that Olive and Penny needed, but God's transformed us into that somehow he's given us that ability to handle the situation. And really, it's normal at this point. It's not, I have people all the time asking me, what's going on with Olive, what's going on with Penny, are they okay? And yeah, unless something big happens, not to say there's not hospital visits, there aren't episodes, but yeah, it's just life is normal.
This is our normal.
Yeah, and it's true for us, it's true for our kids. You know, you just see how compassionate they're growing to become. You know, they talk about Penny, and you know, our oldest son, he's asked us before, do you think Penny even has Down syndrome? Because she's just Penny. You know, they don't see that. And I love that they're going to have that experience in their life, and that it's going to make them, you know, better people, better adults, and you know, that's really what the world kind of needs now.
I think that having Penny prepared us for Olive. I think that we needed to be shown that it's not how you plan. It's not what you think, and it's not always as bad as you think. But even if it is, he's still there. He's still there for you. He's still gonna show up in the middle of the night at Vanderbilt. He's going to let you meet your children, and you can't ask for anything else.
I'm Geoff.
And I'm Amelia.
And this is our story.